Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today is the day we got an official gameplay reveal for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and what we were able to see is apparently just the tip of the iceberg. Today we got to see the reveal of the 2v2 gunfight game mode. Twitch streamers TP, Courage JD, Syndicate, as well as Legion played each other in this 2v2 style game mode, and from that we were able to see a ton of weapons, attachments, equipment, and even 3 of the gunfight multiplayer maps. Now it's important to state right here at the very beginning of the video that these multiplayer maps were designed specifically for the gunfight game mode, so basically this is going to be pretty similar to what we saw back in Modern Warfare 3 with the face-off maps. There are going to be actual normal multiplayer maps designed for 6v6 or whatever Modern Warfare is going to have, and then there are also going to be these gunfight maps that are designed for 2v2, and the maps themselves look pretty freaking incredible, just from a graphical standpoint and even from a gameplay standpoint, because we got to watch a lot of rounds on these maps. They actually look to be pretty good, and here in today's video I want to give you guys my honest first impressions and thoughts on Modern Warfare based on what we've seen so far, though once again keep in mind the full multiplayer reveal is going to be on August 1st, and what we saw here today was just a little sneak peek of what Infinity Ward has in store for us. So first things first, how does the game look? Well, I talked about when I mentioned the maps there earlier. For me personally, I think the game looks incredible from a graphical standpoint. Black Ops 4 was universally panned when it was first revealed to us because graphically it kind of looked like a downgrade from Black Ops 3, even though it was a much newer game. But based on what we see here, it does not look like Infinity Ward is going to be following suit with that. It looks like Modern Warfare is going to be an incredible looking game. Everything from the maps to the guns to the little details like the signs and the paint on the walls and the trees. The game looks fantastic, and keep in mind, this is being played on a PlayStation 4, not a super high-end gaming PC like we see with other reveals for other games. While Infinity Ward seems to have killed it from a graphical standpoint, the community seems to be mixed on how they did from a gameplay standpoint, and I definitely agree with that because, as you guys have been seeing here in this video, the gameplay is still COD. It still looks like COD, but it's a lot different than what we've seen previously, right? I made a statement on Twitter saying this looks a lot like Battlefield, and it seems like a lot of you guys agree with me. The weapons and the movement almost seem to be more like Battlefield or even Rainbow Six than they do Call of Duty, which is definitely pretty off-putting. Now obviously I'm going to reserve judgment until I actually have the controller in my hands and I'm actually playing the game and experiencing it for myself, but after playing Black Ops 4 so much and its silky smooth movement, looking at this game, it seems to be pretty freaking clunky, right? The two are pretty much night and day different. I expected the game to have that COD 4 / Modern Warfare 2 style movement, but it appears that Infinity Ward is really trying to double down with the idea that this game is going to be more realistic than the previous Call of Duty games, and apparently part of that plan is to make it feel a little bit different than those previous Call of Duty games. This is probably the biggest point of contention right now within the community, because it seems like the gunplay is pretty good, the equipment use seems to be relatively in line with the previous games, but the movement and the way your character interacts with the world seems to be a lot different, probably because of that somewhat new engine that Infinity Ward developed for Modern Warfare. If you guys didn't hear, apparently they made a new engine for the game, but it's not a completely new engine, it's like a super built up engine, and it's really convoluted, it's very confusing, but keep in mind, this quote-unquote new engine has been shared with the other Call of Duty developers, so what we see here with Modern Warfare may actually be something that we see a lot more of here in the Call of Duty franchise going forward. Activision has come out and publicly stated that they are going to try to have all these studios work much closer together from here on out, and so this engine, what we're seeing right here with the Modern Warfare gameplay, may be the future of the Call of Duty franchise, but as of right now, we really have no idea. I'm not personally completely sold on what we see here with Modern Warfare. The somewhat clunky look of the game has me a bit concerned about the future of Modern Warfare, but then again, this is a super early build of the game, and things are definitely subject to change. If you guys remember when Black Ops 4 was revealed, go back and look at the Black Ops 4 reveal trailer and even some gameplay from the beta, and then look at Black Ops 4 as we know it today. The game is very much so different, and the same can be true for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but of course, as always, time will tell. We are going to have to wait and see how things are going to play out. Now, moving along here, let's go ahead and talk about the weapons, because I think it's actually pretty hilarious. We got to see a lot of weapons during today's reveal, and people are joking that we got to see more weapons during this reveal than Black Ops 4 had at launch, and that's not quite true, but we did get to see a good number of weapons, and here in this video, I want to break down a couple of those weapons for you guys. Obviously, you've been seeing gameplay throughout the entirety of this video, but let's go ahead and focus in on a couple of the weapons that we saw. First up, we have the iconic MP7 making its return. One of my favorite weapons in the Call of Duty franchise. This one in particular is equipped with a holographic sight, something called Fast Up, which may be similar to Quick Draw. We have a vertical foregrip, extended mags, as well as the long barrel. Now, for me personally, I think this gun looks incredible, and I'm also a really big fan of the wide number of attachments that we were able to see and put on our weapons here, but keep in mind, this may be because of the game mode. I don't believe any actual perks were in effect during the gunfight game mode, but it's cool to see so many attachments on one particular weapon, and guys, the MP7 is returning. I think we're all a pretty big fan of that. Now, moving along here, we also have the return of the MP5. This one features a reflex sight, as well as a laser sight and a muzzle brake. Here we have the FR556, which is basically the FAMAS assault rifle. Here we see the Desert Eagle, which can be equipped with a long slide, as well as a scout optical scope. Definitely pretty cool to see the Deagle coming back. Here we see our first sniper rifle of Modern Warfare, known as the AX-50, which appears to have a pretty large one-shot kill zone. Definitely some pretty good news for you sniper fans out there. Now, for you shotgun fans, we have the Model 680 pump action, equipped with a custom foregrip, a heavy stock, as well as the long barrel. Here we see a shotgun, which is known simply as the 725, but you Black Ops fans will probably think of this more as the Olympia, which is, of course, the over-under double-barrel shotgun from the original Black Ops. I think they also brought it back for Black Ops 3, but we also see it here in Modern Warfare, and just based on what we saw here today, I think this may be my personal favorite weapon in Modern Warfare so far. I've always been a huge fan of shotgunning here in the Call of Duty franchise. Like, going back to World War II, my top gun was a shotgun. Black Ops 2, my top gun was a shotgun. I really enjoy shotgunning, and based on what we saw here so far, I think I'm going to enjoy shotgunning in Modern Warfare, and it was a pleasant surprise to see the Olympia returning for this game. Now, moving along here, we also have the return of the M4A1 assault rifle, which looks absolutely freaking gorgeous. We have the AUG assault rifle, which is going to be fully automatic. On the light machine gun side of things, we see the M91 decked out with an angled foregrip, a compensator, extended mags, as well as the laser sight. We also have the M14 decked out with a sniper scope, and on the secondary side of things, we see the return of the RPG-7, as well as we have the M19 pistol. Now, I may have missed out on one or two weapons, but that's basically every gun that we saw during today's reveal. We have a combination of returning favorites as well as new weapons, though as many people are pointing out, and I'm sure you guys have noticed, we're seeing way more returning weapons than we are actual new weapons. Now, for me personally, I like the returning weapons. I've been playing COD for a very long time. I remember the very first MP5, the very first M4, and the MP7, and all of that, right? I remember when they first came out, and I tend to enjoy when older guns make a return into the newer games. But having said that, looking at Black Ops 4, a lot of those guns in Black Ops 4 were returning from previous games, as well as maps and specialists, and basically, Black Ops 4 has recycled a lot of content from previous games, and fans are getting pretty burnt out on that. Now, when it comes to Modern Warfare, fans may feel differently, but Infinity Ward really does need to work to make sure we have a nice mix of old weapons as well as new weapons, because if we play the game and we see all the same guns that we've seen back in COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and even Ghosts, that may actually kill the replay value of the game, because it won't feel like we're actually playing a new game. It'll feel like we're playing an update to a previous game, because we've seen all these exact same weapons before. But from a gunplay perspective, it seems to be a mix of Modern Warfare and Black Ops. Did you guys notice that? Like, the time to kill does not seem to be nearly as fast as it was back in Modern Warfare 2, for example, but then again, that game did have stopping power, but also the time to kill is not nearly as slow as what we see in Black Ops 4. I think it's a nice in-between like Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 4, and I think the biggest takeaway from today's reveal is that the gameplay, right, the movement, the gunplay, the weapons, everything This is not going to be Modern Warfare 4. It's going to be its own separate entity that's still going to have that Modern Warfare feel, but it's going to blaze its own path in terms of map design and weapon mechanics and movement and just overall feel, like the feeling you have while playing the game's multiplayer. It looks like Modern Warfare is going to be a lot different. And one super interesting note is it looks like the stim shot is going to be returning for Modern Warfare, which is definitely something we've never seen before in the Modern Warfare franchise, but it's obviously a pretty big deal in Black Ops 4. Now, I should say, it's very tough to tell right now because the gunfight game mode seems to have a set amount of health for each player in the game, and there's no natural healing. You can actually see at the very top of your screen just how much health the remaining teams have between both of their players, right? Well, during one of the rounds, while they were playing this game mode, players were able to use the stim shot to really quickly heal themselves back up to full. Now, as of right now, I think it's safe to assume that passive healing is going to be in Modern Warfare in the regular multiplayer. Probably not here in Gunfight, but in the regular multiplayer, I imagine the health regeneration will be like what we saw back in Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Ghost, and pretty much every other COD besides Black Ops 4. But, having said that, it does look like the stim shot is going to return as a piece of equipment, which will quickly heal you back to full, but to be able to use that, you have to give up one of your pieces of equipment. And when it comes to equipment, we were able to see the frag grenade, we had the stun, the Semtex, the bouncing Betty mine, as well as the Molotov. So it appears that if you want to use the stim shot, you have to drop one of those pieces of equipment, but as of right now, we really have no idea. But just bear in mind, manual healing is going to be part of the Modern Warfare multiplayer, but it does not look like it's going to be in the same capacity as what we see with Call of Duty Black Ops 4, but that's definitely a pretty big point of contention for a lot of people. We don't know exactly how health regeneration is going to work, but right now it appears that the stim shot is going to be a feature in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. All in all, to wrap up the video here today, guys, I'm pretty happy with what I saw with this game, but I can't lie to you guys, I wasn't blown away. The game looks good, right? It looks solid, but it did not have that, oh my god, this is amazing factor, or that moment, or just, it didn't have like anything like super amazing that blew me out of the water, right? It looks like a solid game, but it did not blow me away, if that makes any sense. I'm really interested to see what the full multiplayer reveal is going to be like on August 1st, because hopefully we're going to be able to learn more about this self-healing mechanic, as well as the actual normal passive health regeneration. Hopefully we'll see more weapons. I want to see what the perks are going to be like, and the kill streaks, and hopefully we'll be able to see the maps that are designed for the classic multiplayer, not just these small 2v2 size maps that we saw here today. I think the lasting takeaway from today's reveal is this is going to be a pretty different feeling Call of Duty game. Lots of fans are saying that it looks like Battlefield and Rainbow Six had a hybrid child, and I tend to agree with that, right? Just based on the very limited preview that we got today, the game looks like it's going to be quite fun, but it's going to be different than what we're used to, and that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, right? When you're 16 years into a franchise, you have to try new things, you have to try to stir the pot a little bit, and for some fans, that's exactly what they're looking for. But then again, I'm sure there are plenty of other fans out there who are not happy with what they saw here today, because they basically just want a new Modern Warfare 2 with new maps and new guns and new perks and new kill streaks and stuff like that. And based on what we saw, it appears that we will have some aspects of that, but it's definitely going to be much different than any other Modern Warfare experience that we've had so far. So I'm going to end off the video on that note, and before I go, I would love to hear what you guys think down there in the comment section below. Did Modern Warfare live up to your expectations? What do you think of the gunplay? What do you think of the movement and the maps? Are you more excited for the game after seeing today's reveal, or are you less excited after seeing today's reveal? Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments, and be sure to go ahead and check out TP, Courage, Syndicate, and Legion's Twitch channels. They were the guys that actually played today and brought us this gameplay. I will have links to their channels as well as their VODs down there in the description. But for right now, that's all I have for you guys here today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop me a rating, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.